Welcome to Tasty Compendium, my new series for the Gothic Remake. In this series we will explore hidden easter eggs, secrets, missable location and cool details that caught my eye. We will stop at each spot, check it out and I will share my thoughts with you. I would love to hear your theories too, so make sure to leave a comment down below. This is episode 1. I don't know if we will have 3, 4 or 5 parts yet, because the list just keeps growing. The devs spent a massive amount of time filling this world with secrets. It gives you a great reason to just wander around and explore after you are done with the main story. If you are in a rush, use the timestamps below to jump straight to your favorite spots. Let's get into it. To start things off, I flew as a harpy up onto the high cliff ledge right by the fog tower. After landing, I transformed into a bloodhound to run even deeper into this area. This exact spot made my list for 2 major reasons. It's sheer brutalism and the crucial loot you find here. Deep inside you will come across a human body hang up on a display just like laundry. Right next to this brutal scene, you can grab the captain's cabin key. As a reminder, the ship itself is sitting down on the beach, heavily guarded by fire lizards. The Temple of Adanos isn't a massive secret because it's part of the Water Mage candidate questline, but the design is beautiful, the architecture looks amazing and it has some really fun puzzles at the end of the quest. The whole place has a very mysterious and eerie vibe. How to find it? Swim down the river starting from the old camp, keep to the left side, go down the waterfall and then just swim along the cliff wall toward the barrier. You will run right into it. I think we can all agree this next one is a direct note to Elden Ring. This is a tiny naked figure wearing a jar on its head, holding 2 flasks that look exactly like Estus or healing potions. Some might argue it is a nod to the classic Skyrim or Oblivion bucket on head glitch, but my money is definitely on the legendary player Let Me Solo Her. Right behind the mountain ridge where you look for the first focus stone, there is a secret ledge you can climb up to. Up there you will have to fight and kill 2 zombies. Your reward is a chest packed with an amazing early game loot. It has a powerful potion that gives you 4 points into the strength and dexterity, a very strong lightning rune which is a must-have for mages, and a great starter bow. Check out what is waiting right by the barrier near the swamp with gatherers in the sect camp. You can see a fried swamp shark and the split body of a smuggler. It looks like he tried to sail a chest full of magic or out of the doom right when the barrier was being raised. Safe to say, it did not end well for him. Near the swamp camp gatherers there is a tiny crack in the wall. If you use a Meatbug scroll to crawl inside, you will pass a skeleton and find a hidden cave. Inside is a Orwain, a basket and a dead miner holding a bottle with his pickaxe on the ground. He is surrounded by meatbugs. This is classic science fiction tribute that feels a little like Half-Life, but I'm not quite sure. What do you think? Speaking of meatbugs in the swamp camp, we found this hilarious little circle. They look like they are either planning a ride on the old camp, playing D&D or doing a Harry Potter joke because one of them is wearing a tiny monocle. To make it even better, if you check the old camp map nearby, there are actually ladybugs on it. Let me know your theories on this one, maybe this is just reference to the developers itself, I don't know. Not far from the previous spot we find something much darker. It is a statue of the Sleeper surrounded by cultists holding orc skulls. They look exactly like the Seekers from Gothic 2, those creepy hooded figures that gave you massive headaches until you took a healing lesson from the fire mages. The Sleeper itself is standing on a pile of human skulls, sending a strong message that humans lost this fight, or will be doomed at least. Hidden also near the swamp camp waterfalls this time is a brilliant shoutout to our community manager T-Moor. You can find a bottle of wine and a strong beer waiting there. It is a perfect excuse to drink to his 7 years of hard work. He did a lot of balance the demands of old school fans, new players and the dev team. Cheers to you, T-Moor. Right near the ruins where you find the focus stone, there is a small cave belonging to a hidden Sculptor. You can see tiny detailed stone models of a mole rat, a swamp shark and a scavenger. There is also a short note and a dartboard on the wall. Here is a slightly controversial find, two men pierced by sword, leaning against each other. You can interpret this any way you want. Maybe they had a duel and both lost, maybe it was a seppuku pact because life in the colony is so harsh, or maybe it is a modern, tragic Romeo and Juliet story. What do you think? Tucked away on the cliffside behind the old camp is the painter's cave. He tried to paint a beautiful panorama of the old camp against the mountains, but that is not all he drew. The cave is covered in explicit, completely uncensored sketches of male and female bodies. They are way wilder than any art you can buy from the map seller in the camp. Feel free to pause the video if you need a closer look and a few minutes more. This Easter egg is really nice, kind of my childhood, to be honest. Up on the chills near the Cavalon hut you will find a nice spot with 4 thrones facing different directions. On one of them sits a mana potion and nearby is a shadow beast head pierced with arrows. This is a beautiful nod to the 4 thrones of Kay Paravel in Narnia, matching the legendary story of the hunt for the White Stag. Over at the arena near the Orc town you can find the bodies of 3 defeated orcs with strange mushrooms growing out of them. One of them is wearing a mask that looks identical to the characters from the game Clair Obscure Expedition 33, like Gestrals. Also for my Warhammer lore fans, orcs in Warhammer are literally made of fungus, so having mushrooms grow from dead orcs is a brilliant double Easter egg here. Kill one and they literally warp somewhere else. Damn. This is the ultimate dark secret in the colony, the cave of a literal psycho killer. Inside you will find various daggers, rows of cut off human heirs and a chilling note. The note says he hasn't found the right heirs yet, but the last remaining pearl belongs to you. It is a beautiful in some way, but very creepy standalone detail hidden in the valley. It's fair to remind that this is a series of a few other Easter eggs that I couldn't record in this material, but you'll find the dead bodies across the colony with the cat and heirs. Saving one of my absolute favorite for last, a whole pizza casually thrown onto the roof of a hut in the new camp. This is a hilarious direct tribute to Breaking Bad. It references the iconic scene where a frustrated Walter White throws a giant pizza perfectly onto the roof of his house. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive. If you want to see a part 2, let me know in the comments. And hey, my accent isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so I hope it brings a bit of humor to the videos rather than ruining them. Alkimia Interactive absolutely knocked it out of the park with these secrets, world-class world building. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe, and as always, happy leveling, adventurer.